Welcome back to the news at 10. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures that were sent in to us on our eyewitness portal. Let's begin with this one showing an abandoned water project, and according to our eyewitness reporter, this NDDC project in Peterside, Bonny local government area of River State had been abandoned since 2008. The residents are calling on the government to do something about it. Next is this picture showing a federal road linking Ikotekmane in Akwa Ibom to Umuahia in Abia State. According to our eyewitness reporter, the road is a nightmare for motorists and travelers, and residents of the area are asking the ministry to intervene. Lastly is this one that shows a dump site in Gwagwalada, Abuja, very close to the market and a police station. Our eyewitness reporter says that the refuse has occupied half of the road and is calling on relevant authorities to look into it. Well, thanks a lot for sending in your pictures to us, and we ask you to please keep them coming. But let's now return to Abuja, where Sulaiman Alede is standing by talking about another issue. Sulaiman?
Many thanks again, Ijoma. Tuesday next week is when the Senate will continue the ministerial screening for the remaining ministerial nominees. The Senate decided to move the screening date to Tuesday to allow the ad hoc committee looking into the petition sent against one of the candidates and former governor of River State, Chibuike Amechi. So far, 18 nominees have gone through the screening exercise. Looking at what transpired through the eye of a senator, we're now being joined by Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullah, representing Niger State. Good to have you join us this evening on the news at 10. Tuesday is another date, which is next week, given to Chibuike Amechi and Adebayo Shitu for screening. Will there be a change in style of the screening? Because we saw a change yesterday, different from the first day where we saw taking a bow and go, but for yesterday it was quite different.
Thank you, Suleiman. But I think from day one, we've made it very clear that it's not going to be business as usual. And I'm not sure there was a clear take a bow and go. What transpired clearly is we really want Nigerians to understand what these nominees are coming on board with. And I think depending on who the nominee is, there are interests, and I think people look at it from that lens rather than from what actually we felt should happen within the chamber. But I think if you look at the first day, of course, questions were posed to almost all of them. For the very first person, Senator Ndoma, he was asked to give some insight into himself, and of course, after just a while, he was asked to take a bow. I know there were concerns about the questions asked with respect to the PIB, but that notwithstanding, he really gave us insight into his experience.
There are also concerns, sorry to continue there, there are also concerns as to the timing allotted to each nominee to speak. How did you arrive, how did the senators arrive at that? Because we saw some getting almost an hour of drills, and the others getting just a lesser time. Yeah,
I think it has to do with the interest. Some of these candidates are from their CV. If you look at their, their background, like the former governor of Lagos State, and if you look at what he has done in Lagos, people really want him to shed light on key issues, and that's what exactly happened. With respect to Dr. Ibe Kachiku, the same thing. He's in charge of a very vital sector of the economy. So I think literally you expect that people will pick a lot of interest on that particular sector. That explains why he spent that long, time making explanations, and it's left for Nigerians to judge what they think.
Now you're talking about resumes. It would seem as if, the news making the rounds is that some of them haven't sent in their resume. That is why the Senate has decided to move it to next week.
No.
How true is that?
No, that is not correct. The situation is that the very first batch that were sent in the 21, all of them sent in their resume, okay? Even as at, close of yesterday's process. But the second batch, the 16, that was sent as the second batch, they are going through the profiling right now. So we expect that after the profiling, from now till Monday, between this interval, their CVs should be ready and it will be distributed to senators, preparatory to Tuesday.
Niger State indigents and some Nigerians wouldn't let you go without us asking you about the nominee that was withdrawn from your state. Were you surprised?
Well, it has to do with the internal politics of Niger State. And for all intent and purpose, if you recall in the past, where nominees for ministerial posts are made, in our state, we have this zoning in principle, which is well accepted by all stakeholders. And from 1999 to date, that is being followed almost, let me say religiously. So to that extent, the governor, deputy governor, and ministerial slots are shared first in the basket between the three senatorial zones. Now, in this particular case, the governor is from Zone C, which is Niger North, the district I represent. Then we have the Zone A, okay, where the deputy governor comes from. So naturally, people expected that this ministerial nominee will come from Zone B. So when Mr. President made that nomination, naturally there was complaint.
In other words, the senators from Niger State are okay with the withdrawal.
That is the wish of the stakeholders in Niger State.
Senator Ali Sabi Abdullah, I would like to thank you for speaking with us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Back to our studios in Lagos, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Sulaiman, examining the Senate screening of ministerial nominees. Now let's switch over to the world of business, and here's Anne Waudu.
You first. First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, has conducted the opening of bids tendered by a total of 101 Nigerian and multinational companies competing for the award of Offshore Processing Arrangement, OPA. For the first time ever, the process was broadcast live on national television with representatives of the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, executives of the bidding companies and other crucial oil and gas industry stakeholders all present. At the flag-off of the exercise, the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, said the corporation has taken the pain to make the process leading up to the award open to public scrutiny to show that NNPC has nothing to hide. In the OPA, the NNPC undertakes to allocate a dedicated volume of crude oil for refining at offshore locations in exchange for petroleum products at pre-agreed yield pattern. And the federal government has issued 120 billion naira worth of bonds maturing in 2020 and 2024 at an auction on Wednesday at lower yields than the returns at its auction the previous session. The Debt Management Office says the returns of the paper reflected the prevailing low yields on local bonds at secondary market. It raised 40 billion naira in the 2020 debt at 13.11% compared with 15.95% at the previous auction, and that was back in August. A total of 80 billion of the benchmark bond maturing in 2024 was issued at 13.87 billion naira, and that's compared with the 16.84% the same tenor debt attracted at the March auction when it was last issued. Well, yields on Nigerian debts have dropped sharply since last month due to increased naira liquidity in the banking system, the spurring demand for the local bond by pension and commercial lenders. Well, it was a slight recovery today at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as key indicators rose 0.11% to end the session at 29,700.08. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
Hello there. Welcome to the Stock Market Reports. The local burst staged a slight recovery after key indicators rose 0.11% to end Thursday's session at 29,700.08. Market capitalization was 10.20 trillion naira. Investors favored the shares of Forte Oil, Okomo Oil and UACN. They appreciated by 6 naira, 3 naira 32 kobo and 1 naira 10 kobo respectively. On the flip side, 23 stocks got the cold shoulder from investors, and top 3 in that category were Mobil, Flour Mills of Nigeria and food giant Nestle. UBA, Zenith Bank and Continental Insurance were the major contributors to market turnover. At the end of the day's session, volume came in at 172.84 million shares, valued at 3.44 billion naira, and exchanged in 3,226 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Equities ended today's session in the green. Let's take a quick look at the global market figures now. Well, it's a wrap on business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am N120bn. The rest of the news at 10 continues with Ijoma.
You first. First Bank.
Mrs. Rose Obi, a teacher at the Federal Government College, Onitsha, Anambra State, has won the 2015 inaugural edition of the Maltina Teachers Award. Mrs. Obi emerged at an event in Lagos alongside 2 runners-up and 19 state champions. From an initial grant of 100 million naira in 2004 for education, sponsors of the event, Nigeria Breweries, included the inaugural Teachers Award to recognize the contributions of teachers to nation building.
There is a popular saying that the reward of teachers are in heaven, and for years that may have been the case. But that narrative is about to change for good at this prestigious venue where Nigeria Breweries, on the platform of one of its brand, Maltina, wants to reward teachers. In commemoration of this year's World Teachers' Day, Maltina proposed rewarding teachers across the country. A 6-man panel headed by Professor Patutami was constituted. After a rigorous exercise and screening, 19 teachers emerged as state champions. Each of the 19 received a cash reward of 500,000 naira, and from the 19, 10 of them are up for the grand finale holding here at this event. And here comes the Maltina Teacher of the Year 2015.
Very pleased also with the reaction of everybody involved in education, and especially the teachers themselves, that they felt this was a unique opportunity for them to show how good they are, and they expressed that this for them is really a sign of recognition. And I hope this Maltina Teachers of the Year in the coming years goes from strength to strength and will enhance the respect of teaching in Nigeria.
Facing the education budget is job one if we're going to make progress as a country.
It's It's really possible to reward these people that shape a country. At least, Nigeria Breweries has demonstrated that. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Well, the Niger Delta Development Commission is partnering with the Nigerian Navy and other security operatives to boost the security around its projects in the region. At a meeting with the various security agencies, the NDDC Managing Director, Mr. Basidan Abia, said the move is to strengthen its security network and to ensure that the Commission's projects in the affected states are protected. Still ahead on the news at 10, Lagos State Cycling Association announces November 8th as dates for annual Saddle Challenge. And that's on sports. To join us now.